cannot think that it's just my side. You're killing me. Your people are trying to kill me. You've turned me into a... My boy has to go to school. My boy goes to school and has kids go, so you're... This is my... No, this is me. This is me saying, I tried. And thank you, and I will...
We got along really well at first. He was sober at the time, and Johnny, when he's sober, is very bright and beautiful and lovely and kind and generous, and he was very easy to get to know, and frankly, we all fell in love with him at first. If he was using or if he was drinking, there was almost always a fight. There was always an argument. There was always a period where they weren't getting along, and it seemed to oscillate pretty quickly. He would be sober for a little bit and then almost just as quickly fall off the wagon and start to use or drink, and there would be some big blowout, and it seemed to go back and forth pretty frequently. There was never an extended period of time where it was one or the other. But I'm standing up there talking, or I'm standing up there, I'm at the top of the stairs with my back to the stairs, and that's when Johnny runs up the stairs. And again, I'm facing Amber. He comes up behind me, strikes me in the back, kind of just somewhere over here. He strikes me in the back. I hear Amber shout, "Don't hit my fucking sister." She smacks him, lands one, and then he grabs, at that point, that's when Travis runs up the stairs after Amber landed one. But by that time, Johnny had already grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other as I was standing there. Travis pulls them apart. I get Amber into mine. I close the doors behind me and lock them. Then I hear Johnny's voice shouting, "I hate you. I hate you both. You fucking whores." And I hear crashing. I hear crashing and banging and smashing, and he starts screaming like an animal. And I then just moved Amber into the next room, and I just kept her there all night.
And Johnny swings at her, and I don't even wait for any other, I don't hesitate, I don't wait, I just in my head instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs, and I swung at him. In all of my relationship to date with Johnny, I hadn't landed a blow. And I, for the first time, hit him, like actually hit him, square in the face. He didn't push my sister down the stairs. And all my time of being in that relationship to that point, hadn't even landed one on Johnny. Sure, I tried to fight back, threw my arms, flailed my arms, hit whenever I could to try to block blows myself, but never landed anything.
What specifically had you actually told Miss Heard about the incident with Miss Moss and the stairs?
Very simply that we were in Jamaica. I had left our bungalow about 3 minutes prior to her. I was standing outside, and suddenly rain starts just coming down like it's, monsoon. And then I remember looking and seeing Kate coming out the door, and there were 3 little wooden stairs, and she slipped, her legs went up, and she landed directly on her coccyx and her lower back. So, and she was obviously physically in pain, and she was hurt, she was crying. So I ran over and grabbed her to make sure she was all right. That's it. That's all I ever. That's the whole story. But then the rumor of it, I'd never heard a rumor of that before Miss Heard grabbed hold of it.
Wow, that's something for the jurors.
It's like that. Sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, for some of you who's not paying attention to this trial, the reason they asked her to come,
all right, your next witness,
because Amber Heard had mentioned her, Kate Moss, where she was
give us a
explaining
moment
how she
move the
got
TV.
hurt from Johnny Depp, and then mentioned Kate Moss, like Johnny Depp had pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. So that Kate Moss came in today, just now, explaining her experience, what had happened when she fell off or hurt herself. Okay? You just heard it. It was by accident. Johnny Depp had already left, but when she fell, Johnny came back to help.
Mr. Depp, we heard testimony from Miss Heard's sister, Whitney, during this trial. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And how would you describe your relationship with Whitney when you were in a relationship with Miss Heard?
I liked Whitney very much. Initially, when I first met her, I liked her very much. And grew to love Whitney very much. Whitney, Amber's sister, Whitney seemed to always get the sort of dirty end of the stick. And I felt bad for her for that, because it wasn't new.
Wow.
It had been there for life. And that was seemed pretty obvious. So I took to Whitney very, very quickly, very easily. She was a very sweet kid. She was wonderful.
Empathy.
What do you mean that Whitney got the dirty end of the stick?
It was a kind of a strange combination of loving sister, trusted sister and friend, and then lackey, either the punching bag or the dartboard, or the recipient of some rather demeaning and ugly words, or she would have wine thrown in her face.
And who was the source of those demeaning words and the wine that you just referenced?
Well, that would be Amber Heard, her sister.
And
Look at her smiling.
how do you know that?
Witness it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I witnessed quite a lot
Exactly.
of it. The wine in the face
Damn, look at her face.
was something that happened in New York, which
Wow. She doesn't see anything wrong. She
I
didn't
think
do
that even
anything
made
wrong.
it into the papers. I believe that even made it into the papers. It was in an elevator.
How did you first learn about that incident?
Miss Heard told me in detail.
What else did you observe of Miss Heard and her sister Whitney's interactions during your relationship with Miss Heard?
They were just constantly up and down, but I could sense, I could feel that
'Cause he experienced
Whitney
it himself.
was trying to please her sister, trying to be up to snuff, and it just seemed like she got shot down.
Did you ever see Miss Heard physically attack Whitney?
No, I've never seen any full-on blowouts, physical blowouts between them. Tons of verbal. I've certainly seen Miss Heard grab Whitney, push her around. There were half a dozen times when
Wow,
some of
look
us,
at her face.
whoever was in the general vicinity would have to leave. This is at Orange, when Whitney and Amber were living at Orange. Whitney and her boyfriend at the time, Sean Krajewski, and we had to leave the apartment and
Why
wait
was
in the car while they fought.
Wow.
And when you say fought, do you mean
Physical.
physically or?
Physical.
Did you get in a fight or something?
Oh, thank you. Got into an altercation.
I can't believe Amber beat your ass. Whitney, truth or dare? Okay, did you really start the fight with your sister, or did she start it? For real, for real, for real.
We're not going to talk about that.
She really did whoop your butt.
Look at this.
And when you said Miss Heard would push Whitney around, do you mean that the physically push her or metaphorically?
Both.
I think there's a
You
video
heard
of that.
Whitney testify that she lived in Penthouse 4 at the Eastern Columbia building for a time, correct?
That is correct, yes.
How did Whitney come to live in Penthouse 4?
My recollection when Whitney first came to stay at the Eastern Columbia building in Penthouse 4 was she and her boyfriend, Sean, had broken up, and she needed a place to go. And so Amber asked if she could stay in penthouse 4, and I said, well, of course, you know.
How long did Whitney live in penthouse 4?
It was well over a year, on and off.
Did you ever ask Whitney to move out of penthouse 4?
No, I did not, no.
Why did Whitney ultimately move out of penthouse 4?
Whitney moved out of penthouse 4 long before the marriage, and it was due to an argument that Ms. Heard and Whitney had, which had to do with Whitney working at the Art of Elysium with Jennifer Howell and those people. And Amber asked her to leave, get out.
Where did Whitney live when she moved out of penthouse 4?
My understanding is she went to live with Jennifer Howell.
Seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
Everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who did that. I didn't.
So that makes sense. So that's clear. Yeah.
The only time I ever threw anything at you was threw the cans at me in Australia.
Why are you trying to justify who throws things based on
Because
whether or
that-
not you come knocking on the door? I don't
Because
get
that
why
is
one
a
is the
irrational and violent maneuver.
How
So
does
a
one
man would
inform
want
the
to
other?
get out of that area so that he doesn't get so angry that he actually does pop the wife.
Very professional.
Good morning, Dr. Curry.
Good morning.
Can you remind the jury who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm Dr. Shannon Curry. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist, and I'm here today to rebut the testimony that was provided by Dr. Hughes.
Which of the opinions rendered by Dr. Hughes do you intend to rebut?
So generally speaking, there are three main categories that I'd like to talk about today. So the first is that Dr. Hughes misrepresented the tests and the results that she utilized in her evaluation. She misrepresented my testing and the results that I obtained in my evaluation. And she communicated in a manner, provided testimony in a manner that presented essentially her own opinions and the self-report of Ms. Heard as facts.